Did you guys hear what's happening in Mexico and will be fully in place by June 30th, 2026, which affects 127 million people? Listen to this. And this is what people have been warning about for years, and they were called theorists. Like, there's no way they would do that. It's happening in Mexico, and it's planned to happen everywhere else, by the way. So this is why we need to say no. Mexico is mandating, remember, mandates mean nothing if you say no, that all 127 million mobile phone users register their phone numbers with biometric data, including fingerprints, iris scans, and facial recognition by June 30th, 2026. And if you don't, you will be cut off from cell service. Every single user with a SIM card must register. All phone lines, including prepaid/Amigo lines. Now, they say this is to boost security, and unauthorized or unregistered lines that's going to face suspension. But it's aiming to curb extortion. Now, I'm sure, yes, like in theory, sure, if everyone's connected to their ID on their phone, they can't be, that's like safer, like there's less crime that can happen. But is this about stopping the crime, or is it about making a digital database where anything anyone says can be tracked, traced, and monitored back to them as an individual person? And if you're in China and everything's connected and digitally connected to you, and you say something like, I don't really like what the government's doing right now, then what happens? We all know. So is this problem, reaction, solution?
So people are fleeing to Mexico. They're fleeing to Mexico to escape government tyranny and corruption and taxation and food prices. So they're going down to Mexico. Well, mark this down, July 1st, 2026. Burn it into your calendar. Because you know what Mexico is saying? Mexico is telling 130 million mobile users, register your phone or it goes dark. Now they say it's voluntary. Yeah, voluntary. Like pay your taxes or go to jail. So let's rewind back to 2008 with the Renout. The Renouts in 2008, okay? They collected phone data in Mexico. What happened? Massive data leak sold on the black markets. 2022, Panout. Remember that? They tried it again, this time with barometrics, fingerprints, facial scans. And what did the Mexican Supreme Court say? Unconstitutional. Too evasive, too dangerous. It's like having a criminal record, or they're building you a criminal record for having a phone. So let's fast forward to January 9th, 2026. New law passes, right? Every SIM, prepaid, postpaid eSIM must be tied to an identity. Now here comes the upgrade. The CURP Barometrica in Mexico, the barometric. Not just your name, not just your number, your face, your iris, your 10 fingerprints, your digital signature. You don't just have an ID anymore, you become the ID. And here's the kicker. This data doesn't just sit in a vault sitting around. It actually connects to law enforcement, intelligence agencies, national card database. It's a criminal record they're building on you. They don't even have to tell you when they can access it. No notification, no oversight, no transparency. And they'll tell you it's for missing persons. That's what they're saying right now. It's for missing persons. Bullshit. But history tells us a different story. Every time government says this is for your safety, it becomes about control. Run to the hills when they say that.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who do rule and teach well. Peace and blessings, salutations to the hopefully elect out there, listening, learning, keeping the faith, diligence, and testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, and occupying the prophecies until our Lord come. So the MOTB is coming. All right, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, man. This prophecy comes out every single day. Especially now in these times, it's especially significant because we're in the midst of what? We're in the midst of a world war that is soon to go nuclear. All right, and as the prophets have been telling you, that before WW3 goes nuclear, the MOTB must come first. You see? And in the midst of this war, all right, we've been bringing it out, that the whole world is moving towards biometrics. They're moving towards digital. Cash is being done away with. For the purpose of what? To bring in this NWO, this B system, this digital technocracy, Okay, the spirit has been on brothers to go into this topic heavy. All right, but even more so now. So we see now that in Mexico, all right, let's get the article. All right, check this out. Mexico speeds up biometric ID rollout. All right, this devil you see on the screen right here. All right, she's a small hat. And it's no coincidence that she's also a W to the E to the F, what they call a young global leader. All right, so this is the future of the technocrats right here. Okay, and they always set up one of their own, a small hat, in the stead of leadership in whatever nation that they want to take over and bring this technocracy to. You see? So she's been put in the position of power out there in Mexico, all right, to bring in this digital technocracy, man. See? So Claudia Sheinbaum, all right, she's going to be the one to bring in the MOTB. And the same thing is going to happen here in America, Babylon the Great. Because Trump already signed the Big Beautiful Bill. All right. You saw when he came into office, who did he have behind him? He had the technocrats, Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, just to name a few names. Those were the individuals that were behind him. Okay. Dr. Oz, you know what I'm saying? These were the people that were behind him. Why? Because he was showing you subliminally that, look, these are the people that are really running the show. Okay, which they're lower level luminaries. All right, but really this is the agenda of the global elite bankers, which are also small hats. Okay. So as it says in Revelation 12:12, that the devil cometh unto you having great wrath, for he know that he hath but a short time. And these devils are coming down with these unrighteous decrees and great wrath because they know that their time is short. They can see it. And best believe that they watching our videos, man. So we telling these devils that their time is short, you know what I'm saying? We going into prophecy and showing them, all right, really showing the world what time it is. Okay, so they already know what time it is, man. So this is why they moving with such haste and fervency to complete their agenda. But according to Job 20, all right, when they're in the midst of completing their agenda, when they're about to fill their belly, the Lord is going to disappoint them. All right, so they're not going to fully get this NWO off the ground as they envision it, but they are going to bring the MOTB because it's prophesied that they will. But yeah, the devil know they got a short time, so this is why they're coming down with these mandates now. So we'll read some of this. Mexico speeds up biometric ID rollout. And when you go into the word biometrics, it basically means the measure of the body or measure of life. Okay? So these devils, they want to measure your life force. And from that, that's how they're going to be able to keep tabs on you at all time and to ultimately implement their tyranny upon you. Okay? This is what Revelation 13 and 16 on down is speaking of. This is the very system that John the Revelator saw in real time. Okay? And hey, we living through it. This is all being set up right now. If you're tired of censorship and dystopian threats against civil liberties, subscribe to the Reclaim Net. Mexico's government wants you to believe that handing over your fingerprints, iris scans, and facial data is voluntary. That's what they're saying now. Oh, this is a voluntary thing. It's optional. You don't have to. But that's how it starts out. Okay, they start out telling you that it's voluntary, and then they make it mandatory. Okay, and that's why Revelation 13 says that he causes all. All right, so this devil is going to cause you. Okay, and as you heard in that TikTok clip, if you don't sign up to register your phone number with your biometrics, what's going to happen to you? Your phone going to be blank. Okay, basically, they're going to cut you off. All right, and that's the same very thing we saw back in 2020. You see what I'm saying? When these devils shut down the world. And if you didn't have, what was it? I believe back then it was, I know they had like a pass to the city where they had like a QR code and you had to, sign up for it or something like that in order to get into certain places, venues and stuff like that, get on the airplane. But eventually they came with what? They came with that juice. And they said, look, you can't go certain places unless you got the juice, unless you have proof that you've been, what. All right. So that was a foreshadowing of what is about to come now, which is if you don't receive the MARK, which is the RFID microchip underneath the skin, you won't be able to participate in this new world that they bringing in. That's the only way, man. That's why the scriptures say that none might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So if you don't have this thing, these devils are going to cut you off from life itself. Because buying and selling in this world is how you live and survive, okay? If you take away somebody's ability to buy and sell, then you basically killing them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what these devils are in the midst of doing. But it says here, fingerprints, iris scans, and facial data is voluntary. President Claudia Sheinbaum has said so publicly. But by July 2026, every one of the country's roughly 130 million mobile phone lines must be linked to a biometric national ID, and unregistered numbers get suspended on July 1st. See that? So they said every one. They're going to cause all. All right. Now this is not dealing with the chip, but this is what they're going to do with the chip. All right. Because this chip that they're going to roll out, it's going to be a worldwide thing, which goes into Revelation 3 and 10, the hour of temptation. You know what I'm saying? So this thing is going to be worldwide. This devil going to cause all. And this is a test to see where your faith is at. Refuse the biometric credential and lose your phone. And very soon it's going to be, if you refuse the chip, you're going to lose your life in this world. That's why the scriptures tell us in 1 John 2 and 15 to what? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Okay, because, you know what I'm saying, those of us that are walking on faith, we're going to have to leave this world behind. All right, because bowing down to the beast in his image, that's not an option. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that in your mind now. And this is why Israelites out there that have not been preparing themselves to go through the straight gate, that's a detriment against your walk, because these things are going to come. These things are prophesied. So you would be a fool to not be building up your faith in this time and preparing yourself to deal with being ostracized from society, to prepare yourself for being ridiculed, being looked at funny. And that's why the scriptures also say to let not the incredulity or the unbelief of them trouble you. See, because we know that we have a more sure word of prophecy, as it says in 1 Peter. Okay? We have a more sure word of prophecy that these things are going to come, and we see that these things are coming forth just as the Lord's word said it would. So we are sure about what we believe, man. All right, we're firm in our conviction. It's called the KERP Biometrica upgrades Mexico's existing population registry code, the Clave Única de Registro de Población, from an 18-character alphanumeric string into something far more personal. The updated system captures face, fingerprint, and iris biometrics, packages them with a QR code and digital signature, and produces what amounts to a mobile, readable identity document tied to your body. So, like the one Jake said in the video, all right, you will become the ID. You see that? And they're also going to tie this to you being online, accessing the internet as well. Okay, because they're going to tell you very soon that if you want to get on the internet, you're going to have to verify yourself with a biometric or a digital ID. And without it, you ain't going to be able to get on the internet. Okay? So all these things are coming down the pipe. You see? Yeah, so that's pretty much the point. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the point right there. But you see what they're doing. All right? So this war is being used to kill two birds with one stone, man. Okay? They're going to collapse the global economy. All right, they're gonna destroy the life of the average citizen, and they're gonna bring in their wicked agenda. Okay, so these devils are not playing. All right, these devils are very serious, man, and you should be serious as well about Yahweh Bashmi Shai and resisting these goddamn devils, right? This also coming out from Mexico to deploy national health ID card system. So Mexico just got all of this stuff going on, and best believe that in Babylon the same thing is happening behind the scenes. All right, again, they already got these things on the books and ready to go. They just need the crisis, okay, which the crisis is unfolding before us right now with the way that this war is going, destroying the economy, jobs being laid off, suddenly bringing in the 6G, suddenly bringing in these mandates right under people's nose. They ain't paying attention, right? Mexico's Ministry of Welfare will deploy a nationwide health ID card system aimed at guaranteeing access to public health services and strengthening patient identification as part of a broader effort to consolidate a universal health system. Notice it says universal health system. And we know that these devils, with Bill Gates, all right, Larry Ellison, these technocrats, they've been talking about basically having a global citizen ID, which is going to allow you to have access to these new V's that they about to bring, to have access to universal health care and all this other stuff, right, which is really going to be a detriment to you. All right, but they're toting this thing as something good for humanity, man. But no, this is the giving up of your rights. Basically, you're gonna sell your soul in order to receive benefits from the devil. All right, but it's being presented to you as something that's beneficial for your well-being. But in fact, it's the exact opposite. Okay, but these technocrats at the forefront of this thing, they've been talking about this for years. All right, the men of the Lord have also been telling you and letting you know that this is what they on. All right, and guess what? This gonna be the same very thing, because they gonna mandate the biometrics for this as well. And if you ain't got it, you ain't gonna be able to get no health care. All right. The credential will allow us to digitalize all processes and build an even stronger health system than the one we are currently developing, states President Claudia Sheinbaum. During a press briefing, Ariadna Montiel, Minister of Welfare, outlined operational and logistical advances for the rollout of the Health ID card, which is designed to ensure the constitutional right to health provided by public institutions. The credential will allow authorities to identify beneficiaries, register their nearest primary care unit, and enable access to services nationwide, even when patients are away from their place of residence. And it ain't gonna stop at just cell phones and healthcare, man. It's gonna be for everything. If you want to get food, if you want to travel, if you want to work or receive benefits, they're gonna put all these systems in place, man. This is the B system being rolled out right before you. Okay, we in that time, man. I mean, I don't know what more do we need to say, but the proof is in the pudding. Okay, prophecy is screaming, man, and all in the midst of this World War III. Because why? This thing must come first before the nukes start to fly, before this World War III breaks out. Troops get on the ground and stuff like that, man. This is happening all at the same time. Check this out as well. Because Iran now, all right, with the Strait of Hormuz being closed, now they demanding that crypto fees be paid for ships that want to pass through the strait. Okay, so they ain't talking about, look, you got to give us X amount in cash and this and that. They talking about you got to pay us in crypto, all right, which is a digital payment, okay, stable coin, Bitcoin and all this type of stuff, man. Why? Because this is where the world is going. All right, the whole world is going digital, man. And through this Strait of Hormuz being closed, this is how they going to collapse all these world economies, man. Okay? Because once the dollar go down, all these nations go down with it. Because why? The dollar is the world reserve currency. All right, so once this, once this war gets bad enough to where the oil prices shoot way up and everything stops and the dollar fails, that's when they're going to bring in this great reset, and thus they're going to bring in the MOTB to solve the issue. Okay, so it says here, Iran will demand that shipping companies pay tolls in cryptocurrency for oil tankers passing through the Strait of Hormuz, as it seeks to retain control over passage through the key waterway during the 2-week ceasefire. Hamid Hassani, a spokesperson for Iran's oil, gas, and petrochemical products exporters union, told the FT on Wednesday that Iran wanted to collect tolling fees from any tanker passing and to assess each ship. Iran needs to monitor what goes in and out of the strait to ensure these 2 weeks aren't used for transferring weapons, said Hassani, whose industry association works closely with the state. All right, so that's pretty much the point right there. But, you see that the whole world, is going towards this digital future, man. So look, what the man of the Lord, the prophets, have been telling you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, these things are faithful and true. And the Lord's word, all right, does not return void, man. All right? Because, whatever the Lord say, these things are going to be accomplished. Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Okay, so prophecy is going to be fulfilled, man. All right? And there ain't nothing that no scoffer can do to change that, okay? Because these people, we ain't really getting too many scoffers like that now, but, you still got these, podcast gurus and, Christians that are coming up against the truth that think that their unbelief and their slander is going to make what we're saying to be of none effect, to make what Yahweh Bashmel Shai has prophesied of none effect. Okay, that's a vain and foolish imagination. This is Isaiah 55:11 in the NLT. It is the same with my word. I send it out, and it always, always produces fruit. It will accomplish all I want it to, and it will prosper everywhere I send it. Okay? So the Lord's word is going to prosper, man. And all the scoffers, all the naysayers out there, they're about to be silenced real soon. You see, because when they're presented with these things and they're presented with the chip, they're going to fold. All right, they're going to take it. And the cold part about it is they going to know. All right, they going to know because they already heard what the MOTB is. All right? They already heard that these things were coming, but they chose to scoff. You know what I'm saying? They chose to play games, and that's going to be to their own demise, man. All right? So for the hopefully elect, for the sincere believers in Yahweh Shemel Shai, hey, just know that we on the right side of judgment, man. Okay, just know that we have the light. In this world, they're in complete and utter darkness. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying through the Rakah Kadash, Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom to the elect, Kwam Yasha Allah, Wa Bible Ball. On to the next one.